Hello, welcome to welcome to my update of my 100 days self updating. It's today. What should I say? I found it a bit difficult. Um, I'm not very late. Yeah, I'm all right. And we, as usual, I today is our bicycle and running morning, so we get up early. I get my son get up early, so uh, so we went for a bicycle road training for the rules. And what's happened was uh, when we were just started and maybe 100 meters away from home, and then uh, he bumped me. He kind of right the wheels was bumped me. I was in front because there's two people in front on the pavement, and he's riding on the pavement, and he rang his bell miles away. Okay, maybe 20 meters away. And after he parked, so the people moved to the side, and then he managed to pass them, and I was in front leading the way, and then he was too excited and then maybe nervous because it's his first time in that situation on the pavement on his bike. So he bumped into me, and he kind of didn't really fall down, but kind of fall but didn't fall, and he was feeling really that kind of knocked down his confidence. So he was nervous, and his first time bumping into someone with his bike. I'm glad it was me, and it wasn't really hurts me, but more like maybe shock, put him in a shock. So that's what's happened, and then we stopped, had a little lesson after that. I said it. I said to use that technique, not listen to his ego, not to put himself off. I said the last week, the reason we had it all smooth in the last 5 times, we call that new gamer's luck. Do you have that saying, new gamer's luck? So if you're new in something, things always go smooth. And I said to him, it's the first time about the bike. When we first learning the bike, we manage them. What's that word? We manage them how to operate the bicycle. And once we know, he got much more comfortable because he's been learning that over a year in his daddy's place every weekend, so most of the weekend. So he can handle mastering the operation of the bike. Now he's comfortable, but very new with the situations. So I was quite happy that's happened this morning. So I get the opportunity to teach him to be responsible, why we need to think ahead when we're on the bike, because in the future he will be in the car. So we do have to think in advance, analyze the situation. And also I tell him every time when he feel uncomfortable, when his ego telling him to blame somebody else, it's usually, I think it's from my experience, every time when we in a new situation, when we feel uncomfortable, that's because our brain is struggling, our brain is getting to learning mode. And only when we are struggling, we are not very comfortable with a situation, and we feel uncomfortable with it, and that is the moment, the perfect moment to teach our brain new things. So usually we have two choice. One is to blame others and then uncomfortable and think, oh, I don't want to take this uncomfortable feeling, and then I didn't do anything wrong, and then we shut off. And the next time when a similar situation come up again, we shut off again. So more every time, the lesson will just repeat until we take it. So but first, I think I was quite happy every time when I teach him something. When I hear myself talk about it, I also teaching myself for some reason. It's not like something I've come I've come up with a conclusion before, but every time since I'm like since I'm a mother, every time when I teach my son, I found like I'm teaching myself. And that's this nice conclusion, but I never told that to myself. I said, so it makes sense because when a brain now next time I said when next time when mom is not there, but if you find yourself in a situation uncomfortable and you can think about it, it's your brain getting ready to learn new things, and then you can learn take the lesson or avoiding it. So in my life, I think I always take my lesson. It's just like no matter what's happened in my life, I'm always think what's the lesson I'm going to take out from this? What I can learn from this? Not just recently, my whole life. I think every time when it's negative or when it's like awkward situation or something really hurts me, and I would just always walk away with a lesson. So I never felt I've wasted my life. um and today is I'm not very comfortable this morning because yesterday I started to work with the exercise in the book of the happiness trap. So they have some question asked really like deep down. So I just need to look myself deep in there and in my head, and then okay, also looking back in my past. I don't really like to talk about my past, even to myself, not to YouTube. Like the reason I take this challenge, my biggest challenge in my life, it's because I want to improve, and I know it's really uncomfortable for me to look back of my life and look back of my old self, my young self, and I know it's super uncomfortable, but I'm uncomfortable. It's okay because my goal for this time is not to make myself comfortable every day, but it's to improve, to be able to do more, live more, feel more, laugh more, understand more, and so every day I'll be thinking, doing and thinking, doing and thinking. It works so far. So yesterday I had some really like I downloaded the practice book. I was doing it in bed before bed. Just before I answer the question, and I've already started to cry. I'm not going to share all the answers in here because I'm not sure if that will do me any good or do anyone any good. But if I think it would do me some good or do you some good, I will share. But I just working this out, get ready for my therapy appointment next Tuesday. So I want to work through this book with her because this the happiness trap. It's not just an audiobook lesson. It's also it's a book. It's like a coach, and you have a lot of practice to come with it. It's supposed to be really good because I'm using some of the techniques that works for me, as I shared in maybe yesterday or the day before's video about how to control the ego mind. So here is some of the question. I don't know if it's okay. So the cost of avoidance worksheet. So it says complete the following sentences. The thoughts I'd most like to get rid of are, okay. The second one, the feeling I'd most like to get rid of are, and the sensations I'd most like to get rid of are, the memories I'd most like to get rid of are. Okay, if you want to try, but it's better to try with the book because then you will get you will see the point after you answer the question, and then you will get some guidance from it and analyze the answer. But if you want to try that, it's really those questions and are really, I think it will be tough for most of the people, because I know most of us we had like some really bad, we like we've been hurt so sometime in our life in the past. We have been hurt, And so some of them scar are still there, some of them cuts are still fresh, and then you can still feel sore. Yeah, so that's why I feel uncomfortable. um yeah, because my past was quite, I don't like to, I don't like my past. um I can say this. I'm not very old, but sometimes I feel like I'm 100 years old because I have been through a lot of things in my life. I moved to new country every 2 or 3 years just by myself, and as I always say, my mom was absent since I was 8, and my dad um, was really, really successful. He was a Chinese billionaire. So I had the life, not just because of he was rich, he was highly, highly respected, just like a legend at that time. Because when everybody's salary average was like less than 1,000 yuan, the Chinese money, and then his company worth 3.5 billion. So that was the time. That was the time the whole family, at least I did. I went through a lot of difficult time, but I never. But outside, I will just make myself presentable, present like very good. Um, so in when my dad introduces me, now I love my dad. I knew he has done his best. But what was the feeling was like the family will always come before myself. Um, what does that mean? Like I get hurt, I get abused, and but not from my dad. It's from other things and other people. But but then people will say to me, "Hey Mandy, you got everything. You really not appreciate your fortune. Your fortune." Yeah, like I remember and I heard that, and everyone look at me like I supposed to be 100 times better, and I look at myself, I couldn't see myself. Just when I next to my dad, I feel he's shiny, everybody loves him, and he's rich and he's successful, he's wise, he's highly respected. Almost the whole city where I used to live at that time, where his business was, the whole city knows him. And I want everyone, when the people, the whole city know, the whole city, like, I mean, everyone knows him. He was the number one business entrepreneur in the city. And and his business is like contribute to the local market a lot at that time. So this would be 10, 15 years ago, when I still very young. And someone I know, people and like people want to be in my position. They pretend to be me, because my dad have lots of different business. He has a group business, so he people pretend to be me so they can get. He got hotel resort. Those are just some of that, and then very big ga- garage. Can have They can have like 100 car. uh they can carry 100 car at the same time, so it's quite big garage. And medicine factory. um he also built schools for, as a charity thing. He built school in a pool village or pool place in that province. What else he did? And he had a different company in he had like a department in different cities. That's why I get to travel. I studied in Beijing when I was 12, 13. I went to private school. Um, and just when I look back of my life, I just feel like lonely. But then people don't see it. People say to me like, you should appreciate, like, your dad really loves you a lot. I know my dad loves me a lot. They say I should be appreciated. I shouldn't be unhappy. I shouldn't feel what I used to feel because I was the most miserable inside of me. I almost for a long time, for over 10 years, I feel I couldn't really smile. I don't feel happiness. I was a cutter. Wow, that's all like so. This kind of memory because of the question in here, and it's just forced me to face them. And I knew those back days um, were kind of will hold me back. So I'm really ready to dig them out and put them under the sun, and then just let whatever happened happen to it. I just need to get rid of it because I don't want anything to stop me to live my life. Not my past, not anyone next to me, or not anyone on this planet. As long as I'm alive, I'm going to achieve my goal as myself. Not like no, not like after family benefit or whatever. Not compare myself to my success to my dad's success, and just not doing those shit really. I just want to get rid of it, and I just want to. But I was being very extremely poor as well. Is after I left my husband in Scotland, and I was really really poor. I had like £100 in my bank, and we were homeless that time. That was the time I started my studio. I just mm, where's that saying? Is that from Pride and Love? I don't know. I think so. Is that a saying like what didn't kill me or make me stronger? So every time when I found out myself stand up again from falling, I was like, okay, I'm still alive. I'm gonna be better now because I'm stronger, which is very true. Anyway, just not very comfortable, but I still feel like improving. And every day I feel if I sort a question in my head, or if I understand, if I depth the understanding of something new, I feel it's improving. So I mean self improvement, self updating. It's not like um it's not like it's not like one day thing. It's really little by little, and then the most important thing is to keep doing it, just little bit, and just put that in your mind. You walk 3 steps forward and 2 steps backwards, and then no matter what's happened in the past, and if we not use extra energy to hiding it, just dig it out. No big deal because we are spiritual inside. No, nothing can really hurt the spiritual core. The thing can only hurt is just this human, the human being, or not even a human being, because human being means we are living in a moment. What's really hurt is just, I don't know, factory setting. I think this human body come with a factory setting, and I don't know if I make any sense, but that's what I think. The factory setting, and then what's really being hurt, really, like, because we come this earth, we come to a life, and that we all get hurt when we live, and we always think, but I think not all, not maybe not all of us, but most of the people think others get better things. I used to think others get better things, even if some girls pretend to be my dad's daughter, but I still feel my life was awful. I think everyone have a similar amount of pain, just in different way. So we just need to accept it ourselves first, and then we can accept others' pain. I did figure out something yesterday. I was been thinking about the relationship thing. I think I in average I change boyfriend every 6 months before I get married. So that's a lot, but none of them was successful, and even my marriage failed. At the time I did blame to my ex. I think was all his fault because I I didn't ask anything from him, and considering myself come from a wealthy family, I didn't ask him to make a lot of money. I was learning to be living in a regular life. I thought I was doing, look at me, I'm awesome, that kind of like, you're so lucky to have me. Like, now I'm embarrassed to say it, but I was thinking about that at that time. And I just feel he just doesn't know how to appreciate good stuff. Okay, but then I think it's not just definitely not just about him. So because for so many reasons, when I'm with someone, I'm always just there, because I don't know, because of, as I said, because of, I need to, when I go out, when I was when my dad was so big, and then my life is like a big show, because whatever I behave will affect the family business or affect what people think about him. So I need to look like my life is easy, I'm enjoying it, and I look pretty, polite, and well educated and smart. So, but those are all, it's like putting a show. All of us with our life experience, we what life, what our environment put, will help us, will give us a mask we put on. That was my mask. So I'm so used to it. Usually I just need to do that much. So I never need to show what, to share what's really inside of my mind or my heart. I really don't need that. So I never know how to make a relationship. When in a relationship, I was doing the same thing. I thought if I just show I'm so talented, and I'm so knowledgeable, I'm so wise, and I traveled a lot, and I've done a lot of different jobs, and I'm just excellent. I thought that too. For like, as a every relationship, I didn't know the fundamental about relationship is actually just to make the other party feel comfortable, make them feel that you care about them, you love them, you support them. I just realized that yesterday. I was laughing at myself. I was like, really? Can that be that simple? I don't need to be super talented. I don't need to be super smart. I don't need to be, yeah, I did be myself, but I didn't need to be extra. I didn't need to show everything off, because support others is not about how good I am. It's about how important they are to me. I've never showed any that type of love to anyone. And then who really told me about love is my son. And my son is the only person I showed him to what I just said, everything. I showed him the love, the support, and I'm not trying to be talent in front of my son, and I'm not trying to be more smart than myself in front of him, and I'm not trying to do anything to impress him. I just being his mom, and I, when he falls, and I pick him up and then wipe his tears and tell him he would do it again, and it doesn't matter, mom is always here. I never gave that to any of my partners in the past. So I think that's something I learned, and I'm quite happy about that. And I also learned another thing this morning. Uh, so I'm looking forward to change myself in that ways. Perhaps I can make people feel comfortable, from the bottom of my heart, give them love and give them support, not just like because I'm so good and I'm just gonna be tolerant with you, I'm just gonna forgive you, I'm just gonna be guide you, I'm just gonna be teach you things. I was like that. I never realized it. I was like, yeah, like, anyway. So this morning I learned another thing, why people plan, because I never do things if I don't understand why I'm doing it. I never plan anything. I'm a last minute planner. If you see the chaos in my studio from the first one, you know I don't plan things, because I do things what come to me first, and then I want to do it. It's enjoyable. I will do it. Um, so I had two fridge, refrigerator, and one can help like turn completely to a freezer. and another one is just a fridge with a tiny freezer. And then the tiny freezer, the door was broken. And I checked on Amazon, it's like £40 to replace that. I was like, the whole fridge, a new little fridge is only gonna cost 150. Why I want to spend 40 for the handles? I think I'm not gonna use it. So we don't have a freezer. I was using my neighbors, both neighbors, freezer for ice cream because my son wants some ice cream. Now it's summer. But then, because I want to have, yesterday I said I want to go on a diet, and I was thinking, how can I make food last? I just want to cook for one day, and it's easy to control the uh, calorie, and also it will save me a lot of time to cook every lunch and dinner. So I'm gonna cook on Sunday, and I need a freezer. So I decided to put that freezer. So I fixed the door. Finally, I don't know how I couldn't fix it last year, but I could this year. I fixed the freezer door, and I get the fridge ready yesterday. I spent all day very patient waiting for the glue to dry. Usually I don't have any patience. If I've done something, I want to see the result immediately. Um, so I waited very patient. And this morning we switched. We moved everything from the other fridge, which can turn itself to a whole freezer, and then into the new fridge, the little fridge. But anyway, that's just something about planning. I want to say why I like to plan now. Not why I understand now why I need to plan, and why I never planned before. So it's still something to do with my dad and the lifestyle. Um, so because he was very busy, because we really learn everything from our parents. When he was very busy, so it's never guaranteeing when he gonna have time to spend with us, because he could be, flew 3 hours to have a meeting in the morning in Beijing, and then had a meal, and then again flew again from Beijing to Hong Kong to have a breakfast with different business people, or have dinner in the next city. So that was how the entrepreneur's life was like that time. I don't know now, because I left home, and I wasn't really living in that lifestyle anymore, and also because he's retired and he's not as busy as before, and half retired. So um so what's happened when in that type of lifestyle, we always plan the things last minute. That like he will find out, oh, tomorrow I have time, and then we can go do something, or next week, or like, so he will never be able to tell. So I remember every morning or lunchtime I will call him. I say, are you coming back for dinner? Because then we can get the maid to get the food ready. So sometimes he will say, I don't know yet, and then no, like in lunchtime he still can't decide where, because his time wasn't his. um and then so we do last minute plan. Uh, if today I say, Dad, how about we go? If my dad say he got time today or tomorrow, I say, how about we go shopping in Hong Kong? And then he will phone his assistants, and the assistant will get the ticket, and the assistants will get the money from the financial department, and then he or she will get the ticket booked, and then in the morning, and then his driver will come one like a couple hours early, or some other I don't know, some other driver will come a couple hours early, or and then they will take our luggage and our ID, and then they would go to the airport and change the boarding card, and get the luggage in. Like basically, they will do the check-in for us. And then when his driver come to pick us, chauffeur, what do you call them? Come pick us up, and then he would have the body card and the our ID, everything prepared, and some cash or whatever. And then we just take everything, and then just go wait for the flight, or go into the flight. No, I didn't always in business, business, what's that? Cupboard, no, cupboard, not cupboard, so cupboard, sorry, I don't know. I never, I'm not always in a business seat. It's just most of the time is economy, unless it's a last minute flight ticket or we get the business. My dad didn't really spoil me in that way, and then so we can always do them last minute plan, and then because everything, and then when we arrive to the place, the destiny, and then somebody would be already organized in the car, or we can just take a taxi. So don't really need to plan, don't need didn't really need to plan, and didn't need budget, didn't need anything. So I just live in that last minute lifestyle for so long, so long, so long. So I never get a chance to practice plans. So I was thinking planning is unnecessary, and it's a waste of time. Why do I want to plan? And if things can just happen and then quickly enough for the last minute, and then nothing goes wrong, why do I need to plan? So I never planned anything, but didn't work. When I'm living on my own as a single mom, and I really feel I really need to budget and I really need to plan, because that's sometimes we're really poor. I was really poor. It's not getting better. When I just first start my studio, really poor, and I only have 25 pound per week. I have to buy like the toilet roll, the cheapest one. I think even the cheapest one, I still find them very expensive. but but um but one thing good and bad good about me is I'm very stubborn. If I decide I'm gonna stay and make my own life, I really gonna do it. And so I did it. My position and my work and myself are so much better compared to 5 years ago where I started. But it's just not enough. I still want to see more. So that's why I have this updating. But anyway, I feel from my own experience, it's okay if you, when you don't understand something and you don't want to do it. I think it's okay as long as you know when the time is right, when you need to do it, you'll be okay to do it too. It's not like I wish I should have done that when I was. I think those kind of thoughts are very useless. I never really think in that way. Everything, anything good and bad happening in my life, I never regret. I'm thinking, sometimes this is some question on like magazines or on the website or on Facebook. So if there's one thing you can change, if you can go back to time, what are you gonna change? I'd say nothing I'm going to change. Nothing I would change, because I just want exactly the same amount of pen, and I want exactly amount of lesson, and then exactly a amount of the strength I got now. Um, I say life will, no matter how much I upgrade myself, it's always going to be a new challenge. But I know one thing I know is that I'm always going to take my challenge uh, and get myself. Oh, I was going to say kick its ass, but I was reading the book, this ebook. I'm still not going back on my social media, and my ebook now I finished 52%. So it's a book about how to be a successful woman, but still keep your woman quality without become like a cow, not cowboy. What that boy, like a woman behave like in the 90s, or like most of the successful women, they cut short hair because they will wear big they will wear, what's that, suits. um so they will make themselves more look like a man, because this world is dominated by men, but less and less. I found that new generations, they are really slowly um getting more power, and getting more power, or getting to keep the woman quality as they go into success. So yeah, so I start again of my organizing yesterday evening, and then this time is already start to look much better than the first time, because I get them more organized. If you have ever watched the day one, the mess on my floor, and this time I start when I first start, I put them in a, okay, here. So I put them in the box when I start. See? And then it's not a huge mess. And now I just need to organize whatever in each box. So that's all. I'm going to do some more organizing today, and some on my computer, some in a real box, and I'm quite happy at what I've learned from last time. Yeah, it will be good. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. I hope there's anything good you can take, and I will always try to be very honest, and then try to say things that I think will be a little bit inspiring. Okay, thank you, and have a good morning, good evening, good day. See you tomorrow. Bye.